Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Hope the sound's coming through okay. Ooh, let's try live streaming again here. I'll give it a couple minutes, see if we can't get some more folks coming in. Not quite sure what to expect this morning. How many folks we'll have, but we'll see. See how it goes. A few minutes. I'm gonna get the news and some earnings stuff up so that we can look. I had someone comment they did not like my mouth noises when I do these videos, so I'm gonna concentrate on that. I do notice I do this thing a lot. Chill out on that. Not much in terms of news today. Not seeing anything on the calendar. We can take a look at the calendar real quick. Really not much in the news today or this week. We got some Fed folks and some initial jobless claims coming out on Thursday, and that's about it. So, well, it's Friday. Show me Friday. Fed monetary policy report. I think that's just going to be restating some of the stuff that's already said. So, not much on there. We do have some earnings coming out this week we need to be aware of. So, earnings. I shouldn't say that. The big earnings came out last week. I mean, those are the big ones, right? 5 of the Mag 7 reported last week. And if you look at this big move that's going on in the indices, and particularly the Nasdaq, that is really driven by those earnings. Netflix, Nvidia in particular. I mean, that thing is unstoppable. Nvidia, Netflix, Meta, that's driving all that. Amazon to a certain extent. It's interesting when you look at market breadth coming in. When you look, sorry, I shouldn't make that noise. Stop making that noise. When you look at market breadth, you've got a lot of stocks that are ticking down. The majority of the stocks are ticking down, and a lot of bearish inflows coming into the market. However, those big names are holding everything up and pushing things higher. We can take a look here, actually, while we're kind of waiting to really dive into. Are there any good earnings? Let's look at that first. We got Snap today. Lilly reported earlier this morning. I should look at what that stock's doing. That thing's been on a tear as well with that weight loss drug they've got or whatever. Who else? Anybody else see anything on here? I don't really see anything else. Snap's not going to move the market, but Snap typically moves pretty aggressively, typically to the downside. One thing I wanted to look at is, let's pop over here to our daily chart. Let's fire this baby up. Off. And all these levels I think are still valid. You can see that we're in this, bullish up channel still. And I think all these channels that we drew out yesterday, all these levels I should say, are still valid. We can just extend them out a little bit. Still think we've got that support level down here. We're looking at that, what was supports. We saw these touches on it here. All those 5 touches on it became resistance there, support again, which is we're pushing off of it. I think it's got 18,000 in its sights. Key level of resistance is up here at 17,800. So that in mind. One thing I wanted to throw up here, look at RSI. Mind is going blank on indicators there. Look at that RSI. Stupid RSI. You can tell I don't use the RSI. All right. Well, one thing that was interesting, somebody pointed out, is that, and I can't remember who it was, but I saw it on Finance Blog, talking about how there's a divergence going on in the RSI at the moment, where price is just screeching up, and it might be more evident on ES, but its price is screeching up. We've got RSI actually making not making a new high. So you've got this RSI divergence where price is making new highs, and it's more clear on the ES. But the RSI is actually not making newest high and new high, and that price divergence that RSI divergence can sometimes signal that we're about ready to see a reversal. That being said, I think Nasdaq's got room up to 18,000. I think those big names are still driving it forward. All right, so my RSI thing is going off there. I probably need to look at that on a ES or a SPY chart. All right, let's look at our technicals. We just talked about this on the daily chart. Big area of support down here, big area of resistance up here. We're right at the top of that. I suspect we're going to break through 800, 17,800, and make that move up to 18,000. Is it going to happen today? I don't know. Big area of support is going to be formed right here where we've got this level of support coming in. I bet this 20 SMA comes up and we just fill a massive area of confluence, form a massive area of confluence right there. I'd be careful of this false breakout liquidity grab type thing and then coming back down. I don't know, but if you're a swing trader, you're holding stocks, I would still hold it, even though I know we just talked about that RSI divergence going on. And this thing is so extended to the upside, but I don't see anything in the short term that's going to drive it down right now. In March, in a month, 6 weeks, 5 weeks, when the Fed comes out and says they are not going to raise interest rates, and they may not raise it again. They may not raise it in June either. Or sorry, not raise, cut. Geez, sorry guys. They may not. They are definitely. I think they're definitely not cutting in March. And if they're not going to also then, and if they come out and say they're not going to cut in June, I think that March would be time, like in a month, really be a time where you'd see a significant pullback on it. I think it's coming. It's just so overextended. And if they're not going to cut rates like the market's expecting, I think we're all in for a reckoning here. So you got to be cautious about buying the top. But I think if you're holding something, you want to keep holding it. Let's look at that 4-hour chart. Yesterday was interesting how price, quote unquote, sold off. I mean, we came down, but look at this wick. This was during the U.S. session, the morning part of the U.S. session, how price came down, and then we just wicked right off of this 20 SMA area. Just made bullish structure to the upside, hit that level of resistance that we drew out in pre-market, pushed off again. But I suspect it's going to find some support. And again, I think we're going to break through this level and make that move up. I mean, I think it's going to do that. I don't know. Will it do that? Who knows? That's kind of what I see happening. I think that wick right here kind of confirmed that it doesn't want to push lower. Probably trap some bears for sure. And then we get this nice push to the upside. You might see us break this level and come up to 17,900. That's a whole 100 points right there. But again, I think we've got that room, 18,000. That psych level, I would be taking profit. I'd be trying to front run that. Make sure you're taking profits around there because I think everybody's going to be taking profits around there. Yeah, probably see a pullback at that point. I did my annoying sound. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at right now. If we move down to the hourly chart, you can see that area of resistance. You can see how it corresponds with the upper band on the 1 hour. I said this yesterday in the pre-market thing that, we're ranging up here, and the week before we did the same thing. We had this upper range, and then we moved down to a lower range. We didn't range down here, obviously, just bounced back up into this upper range. So that makes me think, we were holding these higher prices. It doesn't really want to go lower. We're finding these good prices to get in. And a lot of that, again, I think is on just a few big names, particularly NVIDIA. We had PLTR report after hours. That thing shot up a ton as well. All right, got a little coffee there. Gotta get caffeinated. But we're just holding these prices up here, trying to make it move up. Don't get caught up here, though. Don't chase it. Make it eager beaver and try to chase that thing. I think that would be a mistake. LVN right here, high volume node here, price acceptance up here, like that. This would be an interesting area to go long on her down here. If you buy it up here, you may see a significant pullback down into this area, if not lower. the market makers, the manipulators, they're gonna make you think like they did over here. They're gonna make you think it's going down to get you shorting it, and then all of a sudden they're gonna push it up, and all these bears have to sell their positions, and they have to buy it, and that just drives the price up even higher. So cautious of it. In terms of like what trade setups we could look at taking today, I'm cautious of it buying the top of this range. You just don't want to buy the top of a range. You could wait for the actual clean breakout and price holding higher. I think what you would want to do is wait for price to break out, and then you like to see volume coming up here, a high volume node coming up here, and a price acceptance that these are nice prices that we like. One thing that would, I think, uh, give you some warning is if we popped up, we wick through, and then we fall back into the range. We fall back into the range, it's just going to trigger a ton of bull trap. I mean, it's just going to trigger a bull trap, and the price will probably fall back down here, and everyone's going to be like, oh, we're going short, and that's going to trigger a squeeze, come back up. So I would be buying it down here, looking to short it up here. However, price is in a bullish structure on higher time frames, so I don't know if you want to short it or not. I probably short it. I'd be looking for a good opportunity to take along. Let's look at what we got going on in terms of lower time frames. 5-minute ATR is pretty low coming in this morning. It's just not looking. It's looking like it needs a little bit of a break. And maybe reaching some exhaustion. There's really no more fun. I mean, yeah, Nvidia. Everybody's buying Nvidia, and it's pushing the Nasdaq up. I think it's still got a little bit room to go, but you don't want to buy it up here and then endure a massive drawdown and only for it then to come back up. You got to be patient on it. Try to find some structure that you can trade around and watching that order flow. If you can't find something, but just looking here, probably going to push up to this resistance area. And then I think it'll, oops, sorry, I made that mouth noise. I got to stop doing that. I can't remember where they were from. Sounded like Eastern Europe, maybe. Turkey, maybe? I don't know. I agree. I watch my videos sometimes. I'm like, man, stop making that clicking noise. It sounds ridiculous. I also have a very squeaky chair. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Yeah, so we've got this big resistance area up here, pushing up, obviously in a bullish uptrend here on the 5-minute. And we're going to, let the market open, move around a little bit. I'm sure some people will find opportunities. Others will be more patient. I find my best opportunities are coming like after 9 o'clock, even though when I'm sitting here watching the charts, you always think you're going to find something. Like the market was open right here, I'd be looking, for a short break of this level over here on the 1-minute, break of that level, and then we fall back down to this support zone. The support zone, that would be a nice trade for me, but I don't trade pre-market, particularly because we're breaking this. If we break this trend line over here on the 5-minute, or what you could do is if you didn't want to go short on it, as I said, you're probably looking to take a long, you pop this 5-minute chart up, and you say, okay, if we break through this level, we get through here, and we start forming a down channel, draw a trend line there, wait for the break of that trend line to take it back up. Maybe something else. But yeah, as intraday traders, we're just trying to find short scalp opportunities. I can't tell you where the price is going to end up today. I have an idea, but I couldn't tell you where it's going to definitively end up. I have a trading friend who's like a real proper trader. Like he lived in Chicago. He made flipping million. Like we were all like in our early 20s living in Chicago, and this guy made millions, particularly off of this was back in the late 2000s. I don't know, whenever that big oil crisis hit. Remember in oil prices, drill here, drill now, baby, all that stuff. This guy made a killing. Bought, I don't know if you're familiar with Chicago, he bought like this nice house in Wrigleyville. 5-bedroom house in Wrigleyville. And I've talked about my trading journey before. That's kind of like always been in the back of my mind. Like this guy who's same as me, he made all this money. Anyways, I always keep in contact with him and texting the other day, and he's sending me his trade ideas. He's getting me back into crypto. He's a big crypto guy now. But he's always trying to guess what the market's going to do. And he's an options trader, so he's always trying to guess what the market's going to do. If this happens, then I'll make 4x or 5x. So he made an oil trade, back when oil was at major support, and it was right at the beginning of the Israel conflict. And I know he got burned on that because oil dropped. I mean, I think he was expecting there to be some wider Mideast conflict, and for oil prices to skyrocket, or at least go back up. Just tanked. So I know he got screwed on that. He doesn't particularly seem to care. But the traders are like that. They're like, hey, I have this thesis, I have this hypothesis. If X happens, then Y, then we'll get Z. We can see that move here I just talked about over here in the 1 minute. Just that scalp, it's only 4 points. Like I said, the ATR is really low today. What's up, Marty? What's up, Josh? What's up, Dave? What's up, Newbie Trade? Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining. Give this thing a like, will you? I would appreciate it. See you guys back on here. Yeah, so, if we look at Delta, again, the whole point of that was I'm trying to go with the market. I'm trying to figure out, I'm not trying to guess what the market's going to do. I'm trying to observe what the market's doing and then get in on it for a quick scalp. And that's how I trade futures, because I'm a scalper with futures. I do have some stock equity swing positions as well, which is a whole separate account. And that's something that's way more boring than futures. Sit there and watch price go around. I usually try to take 10% profit on those. So if I put $1,000 into something, I'm trying to make 100 off of it. And I do that with NVIDIA. I keep buying NVIDIA and getting out after I make 10%. But I really should just hold NVIDIA. I just feel like at some point it's going to crash. Not crash, but it's going to have a pullback. And as soon as I buy more, it'll pull back. Just waiting for a good opportunity on it to try to go long on it again. Yep, so here we go. Market's going to open in, I can just rant and rant. Nobody wants to hear about stocks. Yeah, we got that big level up here. I'm just going to see what it wants to do. Yeah, I am Groot. You kind of have to, like, you want to have a futures broker when you're trading futures. That you just get way better margin. Like, the market just opened. You heard TD Ameritrade going off there. Like, I've got TD Ameritrade for my equities, but they give me shit commission on futures, and I also have to pay full margin. So I don't get intraday margin on it, and it's just not ideally set up for it, trading futures. So I've got NinjaTrader brokerage with my futures. I know some people use AMP. I don't use AMP, and I think it's because something when I set up, one is I bought the lifetime license of NinjaTrader, so they give me a good deal on commissions. And the other is I don't think I can use AMP with my license on NinjaTrader. So I may be wrong on that. I thought I had to have like a multi-broker license. I didn't get it. I got the lifetime license with order flow. And we can see here we're pushing up. Yeah, I would. Webull, actually, I should put a link for Webull down there. I actually started moving money over into Webull because they give you 5% APR in any cash that you just have sitting in your account. So I started moving a lot over to Webull from my TD Ameritrade because they give me 5% APR on it, and they pay out the 15th of every month for any money that I just have sitting in there that I'm not using. And the way that I trade equities is that I just wait for opportunities. I'm not a long-term investor. I'm waiting for opportunities in the equities market to take advantage of. So for instance, like I like trading earnings. I traded Netflix last week. I traded Meta last week. But I'm not going to hold it till my retirement. Just trying to take those quick, those moves. Like I said, I try to get 10% out, and then once I'm done with 10%, I'm looking to close out of the position and maybe move on to something else. So yeah, I think you definitely want to have different brokers for stocks, futures, and the margin you'd have to have. I don't know. I don't even know what the overnight margin is on. You have to pay full margin on futures with TD Ameritrade. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's like 12,000 or 13,000. So for a lot of people, I think that's out of their price range. You know what I mean? Like, you'd have to have a 50K account sitting in there. For a lot of, I think, new traders, that's just not where they're at. I could be wrong. And then if you're going to trade micros with them, they charge you full commission. So you pay, I think, like $3 each way. So you're paying $6 for a micro trade. And that's not great either, because like Ninja Trader, I think, charges me $2 or something. And I get it's only $4, but when you trade micros, that's a big chunk of your profit. Getting this pushed down here. Pushing off, you can see over here that level that we drew out in pre-market, how it's just pushing off of that. Probably trap some folks up there. But yeah, there's not a lot of, ATR is really low. It's only at 9.6. It's just not a lot going on today. I think we're having a little bit of an earnings hangover. Nvidia is finally pulling back. I'm looking at Nvidia, it's falling down. I would show you my Webull account, but I don't want you to see my. I don't know how to hide. I did that when I did that live stream last week. I did that on accident. I showed my TD Ameritrade account, which I didn't mean to do. I was fumbling with my screens. I'm only gonna stick to one screen on this, guys. I would drag things over to this screen. I'm not a professional streamer or YouTuber. We're pushing down. We broke this. You can look at a 5-minute. You can see that blue box that we drew out over there on the 4-hour and hourly. It's up here. You can see. I mean, it's not exact, right? The zone. You can see should it be a little bit lower. Pushing off of that. Now we've broken the support level, supporting ascending trend line, moving down. I mean, again, some people here are probably like, we're going short. You want to just be careful of it. I feel like there's something funny going on. Yesterday, same thing happened yesterday, man. This thing looked like it was about ready to fall. And you can see, I'm looking on the 4-hour over here. On here, I talked about in the pre-market stuff. God, pre-market stuff, man. I bet this trapped a ton of folks. That's what they want. They want you to go short so they can make you go long here and drive the price up for them. Now, as I had said in pre-market, if you're looking to go long on this, you wait for bearish structure to break to the upside. Stop would be below. You're looking for order flow to confirm. I mean, order flow is so weird here. I'll show you market breadth. This is bullish. This is bullish. Advanced decline is bullish. Market breadth, bullish. not aggressively bullish, but look at price. This is moving down. I mean, that divergence would give you some inclination to go long, but it's been doing this since earnings last week. I mean, that's why I don't know. I'm just really the flow is just weird. Get off my screen. Bearish candle on the 1 minute. Crap, but I'm looking at show you triple Q time in sales. Buyer stepping up. Quite see it. I'm not seeing that bullish. Actually, I can show you time in sales on NQ and the MNQ. I'm not seeing. I'm seeing selling. It's just those conflicting messages there. Trying to push here. I've got these lines. Once I move one of these horizontal lines, it'll come up on all my charts. This looks like a short. But again, time in sales is looking just too early too. The market's only been open for 11 minutes. Yeah, chill out, man. That's what I do when I start live streaming. I'm looking to like put on a show. You know what I mean? Like probably gonna come down to 7. 5 minute. Just watching it. ATR is picking up, but still pretty quiet. Just watching this thing. Anybody else out there take a trade? Yeah, wants to be a short here. I mean, I just saw a bunch of buyers come through on triple Q. I'm gonna go fill up my coffee mug. Post in here if you took any trades today. I'm gonna go fill up my coffee. Can't. Something I've got. It's always. All right, guys. I'll be right back. Posting this thing if you guys took any trades yet. I don't know. This kind of looks like a short here, but I don't know. I'm gonna let this thing fiddle around for another minute. Actually, provide something to trade off of. I mean, you could do this, short back down, close. But let's see. Yep. All right, guys, my bad on that. I'm horrible at live streaming. I was muted there. I'll get better. What I was saying is, I was looking actually to go long here. This is that support zone that we had marked out in pre-market. You can see it pretty good over here on the 4-hour, I guess. You can see over here, I used this level of support before. And so we marked that out in pre-market. We're right down at it. This red line is this line right here on my 1000 volume. What I was looking for is for this to form some sort of bullish structure, right? But instead of forming, I wanted to see price action make bullish structure. I also wanted to see Delta make bullish structure. Instead of Delta making bullish structure, we actually made bearish structure, made a new low. I'm just not seeing any real reason to go long on it down here. I would have liked to have seen down here, again, this go like that, breaking this high. I don't want to short the support zone, but at the same time, it looks like it wants to fall. So just kind of waiting and watching, seeing what it wants to do. And obviously, by the time I end up making a decision, I shouldn't say that. It's just, kind of I want to see what it wants to do at the support zone. Moving through it, very bearish. Look at that that 9 hour, that 9 a.m. candle closed. Now what I like to do, if I was looking to go short, I'd like to see if we get that volume coming in. I'll just get out if it breaks. Got in too soon. Still like that short though. I saw this little low volume node form. Thought she was just gonna fall. I think it's down there. Doesn't really have much else, in terms of. But we'll take our stop if it breaks back up above. Big profit on this is going to be right there at the bottom of the band. Scalp. We'll try to keep it tight. Finally seeing that bearish action on advanced decline. God. Nine. Tighten that up a little bit. I'm going to get out there. Train my P&L a little bit for the live stream. Woo! There she goes. The first trade idea would have worked out. I like those setups, you know, where we make new lows, we get the LVN that forms, high volume node. You know, but you also got to be careful that if it starts moving through that LVN, it may just, you know, you may have just gotten faked out. Try another one here. Build. Scout. Trading the PNL. Trading my PNL. Should really hold that down to 20. But I want to have a nice green number up there. I want to have a nice green number on the live stream. I don't want to go off the live stream and be like, red day. Live streaming your trades is hard. It is a total mind fuck. They're doing like construction on the house next to mine or some street. I keep thinking it's the garbage people. I always freak out that I forget to take the garbage out. Sprint out there, my pajamas. You guys finding any of this entertaining, I'd appreciate a like on it. It's encouraging me to keep doing it. It seems like it's forming some base down here. You can see it's the 20 SMA on the 4 hour, so. Thanks for the like. Whoever liked this, I was at 5. Now I'm at 6. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Low volume node here at 50. Like I said, it looks like it's forming some sort of base. Delta's flattening out. Starting to flatten out. I wanted to see. I don't know. Stop making that clicking noise. Thank you for the like. Whoever did that, I appreciate it. 7 likes. You see the trades over here. We just took some short scalps. We basically broke major support. So just expecting to be able to get a scalp out of it. But it could also just be really overextended to the downside. If you just, I said it before, but if anybody just hopped on, I think I got a couple more people that just hopped on. This red line here or orange line here, that was major support we drew out on higher time frames. Over here on the 4-hour, you can see it. And then as price broke that, we formed this LVN, and that should act as resistance. My first short I took was here, a little eager. I should have waited maybe for a little bit of a pullback, but I got stopped out right here. I didn't want to see it go back into this low volume node, but then I got back in as it came back higher node, and we took profit here. Should have held it down a little bit, but hindsight's 2020. Took another short here as this LVN formed. Got out here near the lows, but again, I probably should have held it a little bit lower. Big delta, or sorry, big bearish delta. Also, the other thing that I will show you is another thing that gave me, little confidence to take the trade is that after having all this bullish advanced decline coming in this morning on market internals, and our market breadth is still positive. We finally got some bearish action here on the advanced decline. And when I saw the red coming in, I was like, all right, here's a short opportunity. We just want to trade in that market direction. I don't want to fight the trend. Lower. And I'm not trying to guess the bottom. That's just not the way I trade. Some people trade like that. Supply and demand, support and resistance. And I think they are really profitable traders. If I was going to do that, I have to trade micros. I have to be prepared for significant drawdown. Thanks for the likes, guys. I really appreciate it. Anybody else out there taking some trades? We'll also say there are a ton of people that are doing live streaming stuff now. When I started doing this a couple years ago, there's only really a handful of people that I knew of that did live streaming trading, particularly on the Nasdaq. I think Trades by Matt obviously is the big one. I don't think there was really that many other people doing it. I could be wrong, but now it's like my YouTube feed is like filled with folks doing this. And it's interesting to see everybody, you don't know if people are really profitable or not. Everyone's quote unquote documenting their journey, and they kind of hide behind that for their losses. I take losses too, for sure. Anyone that I think you see trade that is like straight up P&L, like their P&L is just vertical, you should be very suspicious of that. All these Forex traders on here that are trading MetaTrader 4, that's all fake. You can fake MetaTrader 4 results super easy. But you got to be really careful, Forex people. Forex is a nightmare. I used to trade Forex when I first started. Jesus, that thing's a nightmare. But yeah, MetaTrader 4, you can get, I think they're called white label brokerages. Basically, you can create your own broker. You can be your own broker. Like you can set up your own fake MetaTrader 4 brokerage, and you can just from the back end skew or manipulate, literally just edit all of your trades and results. So you see a lot of these Forex people on the YouTube sliding over, showing they're in a live account. That's not a live account. That's their white label brokerage that they created to fool everybody. The Forex thing is such a scam. I fell for it for a little bit, for sure. Now you know. Bouncing off that 20 SMA on the 4-hour. Anybody out here trade Forex? I hate to burst your bubble. Maybe you're, I'm sure there are people out there that are profitable at Forex. I am not one of those people. Forex and me are enemies, arch nemesis there. God, it's gonna be nice here in the Midwest today. Not to switch to the weather. I just looked at the weather forecast. It's gonna be like 60 degrees. I'm gonna probably stop live streaming here. Go try to get outside. I still gotta rake some leaves over from the fall. Forex traders. Hear about your experience with it. Now it compares to futures. So one of the things I like about futures over Forex, there's a couple similarities. I'll say the similarities. One is that the entry requirements to trade Forex and futures are both low, meaning that you don't need a lot of capital to trade. You can trade on high margin. Forex has little, small lots. You can trade as small as 0.01 lots, and futures has the micro contracts, which are very small as well. So you don't need a lot of capital. For Nasdaq, you're trading the micro, you need $100. You probably want to have more than that in your account, but you only need $100 in margin to trade a micro contract on the Nasdaq, even less on the ES, which is only $50. And there's also no PDT rule, right? So I think a lot of people like that because if you want to get around the pattern day trade rule, you can trade futures or Forex or have $25,000 in an equities account to get around PDT. There's some other ways you can get around that. You can get like an international broker for equities. Or what some people do is they'll open like 3 small accounts with different brokers so that they can have 9 day trades in a week, something like that. Two brokers. They'll spread their trades out across multiple brokers. So there's a little bit of a work around that, but in general, futures and Forex have the lowest barrier to entry in terms of financial stuff. It doesn't take a lot to get started. One thing about Forex, though, is that there's no centralized marketplace for Forex. So you can't get order flow stuff with Forex. You can't get, there's no like Cumulative Delta. There's no time and sales. There's no market internals. There's no order flow with it because there's no centralized marketplace. So you're just trading the price action or fundamentals. I don't know. It just doesn't quite give you as much edge, I feel like. It's bouncing now as futures or equities for them. We can see here we're overbought now on the Williams percent. If you were a mean reversion trader, this might be a place to start getting short to try to take a scalp. Threw a pen in my mouth. It's a low volume node right here. You see how price is bouncing off of that? Almost jumped in a short there. I might start scaling into a short here on micros. Just for fun. That's the mean reversion strategy. We've got this low volume node here. I want to see if that holds. I would add to it at 61. Again, these are just little micro contracts. I would add at 61. I want to see this low volume node holds. I'm going to add now at 57. I've been experimenting with mean reversion. And this might be the place to get short on it again. See if I get filled up here. And these are micros, guys. Your take profit on this is going to be back down here at the 20 SMA. That may not get filled. Dang it. Never wanted price to go against me so bad. Dude, how long have I been trading, Lordy? I've been trading, God, since 20. I think I got into Forex in 2015, 2016, something like that. And I tried Forex for a couple years and really just not good result. It was just frustrating. And I literally could just like not get a handle on it. Just, I would have some good trades. I think I got into it like, no, it was later than that. It must have been like 2017, 2018. And I would have some good trades, but for the most part, I really didn't know what I was doing. And that's just the truth. Like, I just didn't know. Like, and so, you know, it was kind of like, I wouldn't say I was getting lucky, but, yeah, it was a little bit of just getting lucky, I would say. But yeah, it was like I would be like Euro USD long, and then I would be like shocked when it like went my way, and I'd be like, "Yay!" Because the other 5 times I tried my trade, it always went against me, and it always seemed to go against me right when I got in. Um, so on this, I'm gonna put my stop up at 66. Let's see if we get a mean reversion out. And then I got into futures. So I was still trading Forex during COVID. And get out there. I was still trading futures during, I was still trading Forex during COVID. And what I was doing was, so there's a couple Forex pairs that correlate strongly with US indices. One of those is Aussie dollar, US dollar, and the other one is yen and Aussie dollar. Yeah. Yen Aussie dollar and yen New Zealand dollar. And so those have a direct correlation with US indices. And so what I was doing, particularly the yen, so like as the stock market goes down, the yen goes up. And as the stock market goes down, the Australian dollar goes down. And so what I was doing was I was trading those pairs in the direction with the market. So as the market's dropping, I'm shorting Aussie dollar, yen. And then somebody, one of my trading friends, was like, why don't you should just trade the indice. Why are you trading that? And I'm like, well, you know, how do I trade the indice? I like Forex because I get so much leverage, I get so much margin. And they're like, well, you know, get a futures broker. You know, open a futures brokerage account, and you'll get intraday margin, and you'll be able to trade the size that you want, the same as Forex. Plus, you know, it's a centralized system. You know, the benefits are just so much more. And so I switched during COVID with trading futures because I was a newbie to it all. And I mean, COVID was a black swan event, right? I think everybody made a lot of money. And yeah, I got hooked during COVID with, I mean, how much I made, but it was a lot. Of course, then the COVID windfalls or the big, you know, S&P 500 dropping 8% in a day stopped. I obviously gave a lot of that back, but I was still hooked on it. And I just started trading futures since then. And since then, you know, all the stuff I learned about technical analysis from Forex carried over to futures, but it actually fucking worked. And, you know, and then I got into a lot of order flow stuff. Got into the volume profile, cumulative delta, started trading that a lot. If you look at some of my earlier videos, I was trading a ton, you know, volume profile and cumulative delta were like my bread and butter. And then over the course of the last year or so, I've gotten into market internals and reading, tape reading, you know, reading time and sales. So, you know, it's developing and getting more sophisticated. My friend of mine, who I talked about earlier, who's an options trader, is trying to get me into options and doing like call spreads and put spreads and stuff like that. And I've looked into it a little bit. I've traded options in the past. I think we all go through that phase when we first start trading where we explore a lot. We're trying different things until we kind of find what works for us. And options, I've had some success with options. The thing with options always got me is theta. So time decay on option always killed me. And even like I would be like right on the move, right? I would be correct in the move, but theta would always destroy my trade. So price would go where I want it to go, but the actual options contract wouldn't be worth very much. Now we're getting pushed down here. Should have held that mean reversion. So that's my history thing. I like using Bollinger Bands as well. It just gives me some areas to focus on. You could take them off your chart if you want. I don't think they're absolutely critical. I've just always kind of used them, and I feel more comfortable when they're on the screen, to be honest. You definitely don't need them. I mean, Bollinger's would have killed you here. I mean, you could just have kept holding this short down instead of, one nice trade here on the 5-minute, which you could look at real quick. Is, as you get this bearish 5-minute candle, you take profit down here at 14, so you're shorting the break at 20 SMA. Sorry, I didn't finish my thought there. But clearly, the trade kept going, right? So you get out here at 15 or whatever. You get in at 30, you got out 15. Yeah, you made 15 points, but look how far it went. So sometimes the Bollingers can screw with you. Dang, should have held my mean reversion up there. My quote-unquote mean reversion was really just getting a short in at a really good price. I'm trading my P&L a little bit for this live stream, I can tell. Ninja, yeah, you can create bots in Ninja. It's Ninja script. I don't do it, but you could definitely do it. I think it's Ninja script that which does it. But yeah, you can definitely do bots. Wait, I mean, I don't do it, so you probably want to talk to somebody else about it. But as my understanding is that yes, you can do. You can go on like one of these side hustle sites like Fiverr or Upwork or something, hire people to do it. If you had something you wanted to do, I looked into doing that, creating my own indicators, like my own volume profile indicator, my own delta. Particularly the volume profile, because there's no free volume profiles out there. I've got a video on here that's got a free cumulative delta indicator, and I'm not sure if that's still free. I should probably check it. It's probably a year old by now, and they may have started selling it because delta's become so popular. But yeah, there's no free. These volume profile and the delta indicator aren't free. Now you get it free if you do the lifetime license on NinjaTrader. And with the amount that I was trading at the time when I bought NinjaTrader, and what I saved on, so you get the order flow suite plus you get a discount on commissions. And what I saved on commissions during those first couple months paid for the lifetime license. So I would look into it if it's the way you trade. Some people do like Trading View, volume profile, but you got to pay for Trading View. I don't know of a free volume profile. There is one on Thinkorswim, volume profile, but I can't get it to look the same way as this one. And I should Tradeovate has a volume profile. I don't know if that's free anymore since NinjaTrader acquired Tradeovate. Only made $100 today, guys. It's 9:30 right now. I may jump off of this thing. Hope you got some value out of this. I would say we took 2 trades this morning, and we can just go over them real quick. I'm probably gonna jump off of here. First trade we took over here. You can see it on the volume chart. Price broke through major level of resistance. As price broke lower. I will actually take off this profile and throw up what we actually were looking at. I screw any. So we can kind of take a look at what the profile looked like when we actually took the trade. We marked out a big area of support during pre-market, which is this orange line. You can see it over here on the 4-hour. As price broke through that with, I would say, conviction. You look at Delta. Delta made new lows, looked aggressive through it. It looked like it wanted to go down, right? It looked like it wanted these prices. It wasn't a fake out. So we saw Delta confirmation on it. We got in because this low volume node had formed. I took a short right here, which you can see. And unfortunately, I jumped the gun a little bit on it. The price did come back up into this low volume node, so I closed out, or we took a stop. I can't remember. But then it began to move back down, and we shorted it again. Got out here. Obviously, should have held it lower. But then as it came back up, this low volume node's holding. Took another short. Got out kind of near the bottom here. So this was all, I would say, one trade, and I probably should have just held it for one trade. Really just price breaking through a major level of support, making a new higher low. In this case, it's a new low. Form a high volume node with a low volume node acting as resistance, and we short it using that low volume node as our stop loss. People call this a fair value gap. I don't know. Whatever you want. You can call it Billy, call it silly popcorn, you can do whatever you want with it. I just call this a low volume node anyways, and try and take the short down, hoping that we get a continuation in price because we're having price acceptance here. So that was the first trade, I would say. Second trade is a mean reversion trade. We've got bearish trend on the day going down. We have price moving up. We become overbought on Williams percent. Here, I saw something here that made me short it right here, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, we came into a low volume node over here. So we had actually another low volume node form. I don't know if I can pull that up. So I shorted it at a low volume node that had formed right here. Got through that node. I shorted it again at the top of the 20 SMA on the 1 minute. Overbought on Williams percent. You can also see our Williams percent started making lower highs. And so we got out. I should have held down to the bottom of actually the band, which was the 20 SMA, I should say, which was my first target zone. And we got out a little bit too soon. It did bounce, but then obviously tanked again. So those are the two trades we took today, and only $100. But you know what? Live streaming, making $100, I'll take it. Volume profile is very subjective. Sure, I mean, I guess it all is. All of it is. It's just how you see it. It's just how I trade. If there was an exact science to this, everybody on the planet would be millionaires, right? Like, not everybody, not a ton of trading millionaires roaming around. Find something that works for you. Manage your risk properly. You know, look at it long term over the series of a lot of trades, how you're doing. Not just on one day. All right, guys, I'm jumping off of here. My voice is getting crackly. Take a break. Thank you guys so much. If anybody wants to throw up a like on this one more time, I'd really appreciate it if you haven't already. I'm going to pop off. I will hopefully see you guys back here tomorrow. Let's do it again tomorrow. This is pretty good. Let's do it tomorrow. All right, guys, take it easy. See you later. Bye.